Do you have any hidden talents?
There's people that don't know I play in a band. I think someone tipped off Miro that I had played in a band. And then he came up and he was like, someone told me you play in a band. And I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, I want to know everything about it.
Welcome to another episode of Outside the Ring. I'm your host, Lexy Carves, and today I have 1/3 of the Butcher, the Bunny, and the Blade, the Butcher.
Hi.
What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Probably the first thing I do is some sort of complaint about something, and then, I usually wake up and see if I can touch my toes.
What is your favorite cheat meal?
My guilty pleasure meal
Yes.
is a double Whopper.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
Oh my God. My dad snuck me in to see John Mayall Blues band when I was like 4 years old, and I remember it. It was like at this place that had a spinny stage, and he was holding me, and he said, pretend to cry. And then he said, my daughter's in there, I gotta go get her. And snuck me through the gate, and we watched John Mayall's Blues band. And that was like,
God.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone important was in the band at the time, but I remember there being a spinny stage. And there are green lights, like some sort of green lights. And then he took me to see Stevie Ray Vaughan like a bunch when I was like younger. So like technically, I think the first one I remember
Right.
was Stevie Ray Vaughan. But I remember like he tells a story all the time, he's a badass. Like he snuck me in when I was a kid.
What is your coffee order?
I love introducing people to a flat white.
I know, nobody knows what that is.
A flat white with soy is like one of the nicest drinks ever. It's like drinking like a little cloud. And there's no calories in it.
Dead or alive, who would you like to have dinner with?
I'd say Brody Lee as a friend. Got him. Either Bowie or Zappa would probably be my pick, or Miles Davis.
What is one thing you wish you knew in high school?
Everything. I wish I paid attention in high school. Jesus.
Do you have any tattoos that you regret?
All of them. Every one of them.
Really?
I started getting tattoos really young. Like too young. You know what I mean? Like my parents should have said, hey, you should probably chill out a little bit. There's just a bunch that I wish I would have done differently. That's it. I guess that I don't like regret any of them, but I wish I had done them differently.
What is your biggest strength?
I care about people too much, and I think that's my biggest weakness and probably my biggest like thing. It's like I'll give you the shirt on my back and I'll freeze to death.
Well, I think you answered the next question. What is your biggest weakness?
Yeah, and it's like that for sure. My biggest weakness though is probably the fact that I refuse to grow up. Like I literally refuse to like wear a watch. I refuse to make lists. I refuse to do a lot of things that adults do, just because I don't want to grow up.
So, how long did it take you to grow out that beautiful stash?
I have a knack of, if I had a superpower, it'd probably be to just grow facial hair. It grows so quick. This is only like a couple months. All of this, I think like a month and a half ago, I didn't even have.
Who are your top 3 musical influences?
It all depends. Like right now, like I'm super into Frank Zappa. I'm always into Zappa, but like right now I'm like super into like a certain era. I started listening to only music from 1974.
Just 1974, not like the 1970s?
I think 1974 was a very good year for music. So I've been listening to a lot of that. Right now I'd say Zappa, Herbie Hancock, and there's this like weird little kid who plays like jazz named Pliny, and he's awesome. But it's like weirdly like metalcore-y from today, but he does like smooth jazz over it.
Oh.
And I'm really into it. Yeah. As everyone expects me to say like Metallica and stuff, which Metallica's like my favorite band of all time. But right now I'm going through something.
Stuck on an island and you can only bring one album. What's it gonna be?
Probably Christopher Cross. It's got a lot of songs on it. I think I never would get depressed if I had that song on it, or if I had that record. It's got Run Like the Wind. You might know that song.
What is your spirit animal?
I have a dog named Terry Funk. Probably that. I call her the caretaker. She cares about everything, and there's a lot of me in her. And then there's times where like she gets grumbly, like she just wants to lay, and if you go near her, she'll like grumble at you. It's like very me. Like I would say Terry Funk is my spirit animal.
What is your least favorite household chore?
Do you want to know something? I love it. I love chores. I'm absolutely like, I love chores. Kind of like alone time. Like usually like Hannah will be in her like office like working, and then I'll just start cruising around the house doing like chores, and I love it.
I'm sure she loves that.
Oh yeah. She absolutely likes. I love cleaning the dishes like a lot. She thinks I'm crazy because I like to do them by hand, and we have a dishwasher.
What is one thing you always travel with?
There's a few weird things that I have that I always travel with. I always have 90-second rice on me. Like, you know, like the 90-second like microwave rice.
Yeah.
I always have that on me, and then I have a rock from the basement of, this is such a weird thing. So I'm really into Scandinavian black metal, and where it started was this place called Club Hell. And I went to the basement. I was in Norway. I went in the basement, and I got a rock in my toiletry bag from the basement where black metal was basically created.
What is your favorite sound?
The sound of like being underwater is nice because there's no sound.
It's very calming.
It's very calming. Yeah. I mean, I play guitar and I'm a pro wrestler, so it's just all sound constantly.
Yeah.
So when you like hear nothing, it's really nice.
Do you have any hidden talents?
There's people that don't know I play in a band. So I think someone tipped off Miro that I had played in a band, and then he like came up and he was like, someone told me you play in a band, and I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, I want to know everything about it.
What is one moment from your past you wish you could relive?
I liked when I first started out in music and I was like hungry and starving. I wish I could do that again. Like where like I had no money, traveling the country. Like I would leave town with like $40 and leave for like 60 days and like just have to make it. It 100% stressed me out. You're so hungry and just like all your ideas are like, you know what I mean? They're just firing. We're like, then when like things kind of get easy, you like stop forgetting about why you do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's very true. Yes.
It's true, yeah. And it like that's, I think a lot of people like they get so like relaxed with their job that like, because they're so, everything's so easy that like, I don't know, every once in a while, everyone should get thrown back to the wolves, I think.
All right, well, that's a wrap on this episode of Outside the Ring. Thank you so much.
Hopefully it was good.
That was great.
All right.
Catch you guys next week.